apply to versus.
Okay. I think you will. Good afternoon, good evening, everyone. This poem was written for the aftermath of Sandy Hook. And when I heard about it, as I guess all of you felt such an outrage that children had to bear that day, lost their innocence, lost their childhood, never to return for some of the children. That's how I felt about the event. But one of my good friends lived in Newtown until 3 years ago, and her neighbor across the street had a son who was in that school. He was in the 4th grade, so he was spared. So then my heart bled another way, another time, for the innocence of him. And so this is what was born of that occasion. Thirdly, I was invited by these young gentlemen to go to Yale. They have an annual poetry meeting, and I'd heard about it for many years. And this year I decided I'm going. So this occasion forced me to put on paper what was in my heart, and it's called Until Now. And it is dedicated to the families who must carry on after the torment of Sandy Hook. Close your eyes, go to sleep. Close your eyes, go to sleep. It's okay, Mommy. It's all right, Daddy. No more pain, no more crying. I said I loved you this morning. I said I loved you twice. We drove along the winding road to Sandy Hook, and you said, "Oh, the sky looks nice." We sauntered on, hand in hand, to the line for your entrance to class. I kissed you. I know I did, and hugged you very tight. I was smiling, and you said goodbye, a happy smile, waving, laughing, full of life. I drove home, a mile away, feeling not just right. The call came. I raced and raced to the apportioned place to make sure you, my child, were safe. I waited. I cried. I waited. I cried. And finally, they said, you were a victim and you had passed away. My heart cannot bear the pain of this atrocity. The pointless act assaults my conscience. In a moment of unconscionable terror, my future was stolen. He turned his weapon to himself, stealing the last hope to my question, why? In this tangled web of sorrow, I am spiritually emaciated. Into this vacuous hole, I must commit my pain. In my anger, I must find strength to pull me forward into the future. In my loss, I bathe in the tears, longing for your sweet face. In my cry for peace, a comforting peace within me, I will bury the angst of my quest to have you here physically with me. In my desire to have your life remembered by the masses, I will create a fire of hope for tomorrow, for myself, and for the others feeling the unfathomable void. In my memory of you, I will seek refuge. Refuge within the anchor that consumes the unthinkable and calms my fears and dries the tears and envelops me in an all-accepting love. I pray that I can be whole again. I pray that I can feel again. I pray that I can touch again. I pray for you, my child, that you knew I loved you enough, cared for you enough, and attempted to protect you enough from the dangers of this cruel world. Danger unseen of and unheard of in this place until now. Close your eyes, go to sleep. Close your eyes and go to sleep, my darling. Mommy, Daddy, I'm right by God's side. And guess what? No more pain and no more crying.
Next is Christ Knox Jr.
How's everybody doing tonight?
Right forward.
I'm on page 39, I wasn't sure that's on there. A poem about something that happened in the town. It's called New Brunswick, number 5. The coffee girl knew the young man who had been murdered. He liked his coffee light and sweet. She liked when he smiled at her. She knew him, but now he was bleeding out in his last moments.
39.
The neighbors sobbed behind the clothes hanging on the line. That boy didn't do nothing. And why would the Lord let this happen? The neighbors huddled behind the crime scene tape flying, where hours ago the young man had been alive. Now he bled, strapped to a gurney, and the EMTs pounded, shouted, and breathed in vain, pleading with God for life, not death. That young man had a name. Now he is gone, we must ask why. We have to ask why the young man thought he could get by, skimming a little off the top from Nim 2 down the block. Nim 2 you walk past a little faster down Sweden. Nim 2 liked the young man, he had a certain way about him, but they liked their money more. So tonight became time. The young man became the year's gunshot victim number 5. They didn't plan for him to die, but now he's gone.
Great.
Were there any other poets that came a little late? Didn't get to read? Okay, then I'd like to thank everyone for coming. There's coffee, tea, and cookies in the back, and there will be a few extras available at the table at the front.